Thank you very much for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields on this Thursday. I want to get into this. This is the spot we're going to see develop. If you've been around parts of Mexico, Belize, we've been seeing some heavy rain, even had some showers in the Cayman Islands. This is the spot that's going to develop and head toward the Bahamas, parts of Cuba, Florida, and then right up the east coast of the United States. I want to show you that. I'm going to expand out the view with you. This is a big weather maker, kind of a rare storm for this time of year to take shape quite like this. As we get back through the Caribbean, we've been seeing some spotty showers around. I'm going to dive into that forecast, of course, ahead. Let me start with this. Here's the European model. Here's Florida. Here's Jamaica, here's Cuba, Cayman Islands right here, here's Belize, here's the Yucatan. You get back toward the rest of the eastern Caribbean, a strong easterly flow. We've had some gusty winds, especially the higher terrain in Puerto Rico. That's because we have a front right here. There's one lingering front leaving moisture, and then another front here over by Texas and Louisiana. This is the setup. So this front leaves some leftover moisture, and then this front here kind of gives it some extra energy and kicks it right into Florida, parts of the Bahamas, and Cuba. This is by the time we get into late on Saturday. Now, as this evolves, a big system here, this front will draw into this direction a severe weather threat. We're going to see some power outages, especially even up toward Georgia and the Carolinas with the vegetation we have there. Those gusty winds are going to down some trees through the southeastern United States, not for all of us, but again, in some spots. And then this will move in with a tornado threat Saturday night and then lift up on Sunday up toward the Carolinas. You see it there, and that again is going to cause some tree branches to come down, power outages, a big wind maker. But look at the tail end of this, right through the Bahamas, Cuba, Jamaica, all the way down near Nicaragua. This is a huge, huge system. Now, initially, there'll be some heavier rain working in Saturday night into the northern Bahamas, and then the tail end of this, by the time we get into Sunday and even Monday, central and southern Bahamas, and even over toward Haiti and the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, the rain chance is actually going to pick up a little bit later into, or at least into early next week because of the system. Now, here's the wider view on the American model, which is very similar to what we're seeing on the European model. You see this system developing here. This is as we work our way throughout our Saturday. Saturday afternoon, heavier weather starts to work into parts of Florida. Very gusty winds, heavy rain regardless of the severe weather potential, parts of Cuba, and there in the northern Bahamas. Then on Sunday, you see how this system lifts up toward parts of the mid-Atlantic, over toward the Carolinas, Georgia. Again, some trees down, the higher terrain there. Tons of trees around the Atlanta area, Charlotte area. So watching out for some power outages that will be possible. And then going out in time, this will lift up toward New England, especially as we get into Sunday night. Another wind maker up there and some snow on the back end of this. So we'll keep an eye out down the road, my friends, in the Atlantic region of Canada. We are going to see some higher seas, of course. And I want to get into the seas in a moment. And that chance of rain, snow with some gusty winds early next week, say over toward Nova Scotia. That'll be a possibility. Now, looking at these winds, the winds have been very sharp out of the east. But look at this curl right here with me. Okay, so this is by the time we get into late tomorrow. So that's when the storm system really develops. You see that spin right in there. It's not truly tropical in nature, but this will act like a tropical storm as it moves into Florida. And you see this white shading, even this red shading here. Those are winds of 80 to 100 kilometers an hour. We could have some gusts up to 70 miles per hour right in the center of this as this lifts up toward the Carolinas on Sunday morning and starts to work away from Florida. But that tail end of this will be impacting parts of the Bahamas with gusty winds. And then behind it, look at that northeasterly flow getting all the way down toward Honduras and Nicaragua. I think it was a couple weeks ago I was talking about mid-December that we would see some of the Christmas winds working in, and that's exactly what is going to happen. We're going to get a big change in some of the winds once we get into this weekend and next week. Now, here are the wave heights. This is in feet. So where we're looking at 20 feet or so, we're looking at 6 to 9 meters. So that's what we're going to have right in here, 6 to 9 meters or upwards of about 20 feet in the northeastern Gulf of Mexico, probably a little bit less than 20, somewhere around 15 feet to almost 20 feet here. This is by the time we get into Saturday, then flipping over into Sunday. Look at this, Sunday morning. See this brighter color here? That's about 23 feet. So as I mentioned, about 6 to 9 meters southeast coast of the U.S., and this just kind of building up toward the northeastern United States. The Atlantic is going to be a mess in the short term, of course, the Gulf as well. And we've had those winds right across the Caribbean for us, making things very choppy, very bumpy, which has been an issue. Now, water temperatures in the Gulf of Mexico, about 26, 27 degrees Celsius. That's about 78-ish Fahrenheit, a little bit better than that. So this system, a tropical system, would feed off of warm water. We don't have warm water. It's not warm enough, I should say. So this system would not truly be tropical. It's kind of more subtropical, dealing with some warm air here, cold air here, helping to allow this spin to develop. So it's more of a subtropical system. Will they name it? They could. It's going to fit the category to be named as a subtropical storm, but sometimes they don't, and they go back and kind of analyze this as we go over the next few months. But regardless of the name, the forecast I'm showing you stays on track. And let me show you some of the rain we're going to have. Look at these brighter colors. This is off my chart. You see this kind of gray or black shading in here? That's 150 millimeters of rain, or 6 inches of rain, and then higher than that in the central Gulf. This, of course, in the Gulf, but then eventually this moves in. Get over toward the Bahamas. We're going to see some spots around 6 inches of rain, or 150 millimeters of rain. So some heavy rain, watching out for the flooding, watching over toward central and eastern Cuba with this. Now, if this were to get a name, the next name on the list is Vince. Hurricane season is over, but we do get systems sometimes in December. We had one actually in January this year. Vince is the next name. We still use this season, or at least this year's list. The list for next season kicks in at the new year. So if they did name it, it would be Vince. But either way, tropical storm-like conditions with this, no doubt, that's all going to be taking place. And you see it here. This is the area. This is as we work our way into this afternoon. And look at the rain still. Mexico, Belize, watching this. Here's Cuba and the Cayman Islands. And you see this system up here. But as this develops up here, that's going to draw in some moisture. And still that easterly flow. Look at St. Lucia, Barbados. We're going to see that chance of scattered showers scattered about through the eastern Caribbean, down through Trinidad, watching over toward Guyana. And then as we work our way into Saturday, there's the extra rain. Cayman Islands, near Jamaica, parts of eastern, or rather western and central Cuba, I should say, and then right up through the Bahamas, and the gusty winds with that. So the rain totals just over the next few days, watching the coastal sections of Belize and coastal sections of Costa Rica. We've seen some higher totals, upwards of 100 millimeters of some rain. As we get through the Dominican Republic, stretching all the way back toward Trinidad and Tobago, scattered showers. If you happen to get a couple healthier showers, we could see a few spots getting about 75 millimeters of rain, but not all of us are going to get the rain. But the rain chance stays on the higher side in Belize today, gradually going down. Same thing in the Yucatan, that elevated chance of rain with a system developing nearby. And in Jamaica, the rain chance is going to start to bump up by the time we get into the weekend. Cayman Islands, we're going to get that better chance of some rain around tomorrow, and then especially as we work our way into Saturday. Scattered as we get back through St. Lucia. It's not all day stuff the next few days, but you see it getting a little higher, St. Lucia and Barbados. As we get into Saturday, rain chance does bump up a notch. 50% chance Trinidad and Tobago, 30 to 40% chance in Grenada. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we're also looking at that 30 to 40% chance. Holding on to a 40% chance the next few days, spotty showers possible in Martinique, a 30 to 40% chance in Dominica. We swing just to the north, Guadeloupe, an isolated passing shower, and breezy conditions. It stays breezy. Antigua and Barbuda could kick up a shower, 20 to 30% St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat, holding on to a 30% chance in Anguilla and St. Bart's. Rain chance about 30% tomorrow and Saturday, St. Martin, Ceiba, and Statia. And the rain chance will get a little higher over toward Puerto Rico. Rain chance bumping up some, and it will go up a notch as we get into the U.S. and British Virgin Islands by the weekend. Rain chance gets higher. The Dominican Republic on Saturday. I mentioned the tail end of the system. Haiti, rain chance limited today, but picks up by Saturday. Bahamas, it just kind of depends on if you're in the northern, central, or southern Bahamas. But we are going to see a very active pattern through the Bahamas, as I was highlighting earlier in this video. Same thing in Cuba. As this system works west to east, we'll see that rain chance scraping across. Turks and Caicos, rain chance will get higher in a few days. 30% chance tomorrow in Aruba, about a 20 to 30% chance in Curacao and Bonaire, and looking at a 30% chance in Bermuda. And then we'll wait on these fronts getting closer. Guyana, rain chance about 40%, spotty showers in Suriname, rain chance about 30% in northern Venezuela. So a big time system for this time of year. We're going to see that spin developing over the next 24 to 36 hours in the Gulf of Mexico. Heavy rain working toward the Bahamas, Florida, and Cuba. More active as well in Jamaica, the tail end of the system. Watching that even eventually over toward Puerto Rico, and the gusty winds as a whole will continue. Plus, I'll continue to monitor the earthquakes. We've had quite a bit this month, so I'm keeping an eye on that as well. So thank you for getting the word out about this system, sharing this information, and being part of this weather community. Have a good rest of your day.